Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into this show today. Now today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. So on the docket for today, of course, more airport lounge news because I don't even use them, which is weird because that's all we seem to talk about as of late. But anyways, we have U.S. Bank from the Altitude Reserve making some slight changes to their Priority Pass membership. Of course, we have American Airlines making some minor changes to a lounge partnership they have. We have an interesting story developing with Capital One that involves transferring your points from one card to another internally with Capital One, so we'll take a look at that. Of course, we will close with a continuation from last week's Delta American Express Fest. This sees some changes to the intro offers on the Delta cards, and of course, overall, what this all means. So of course, if that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we will lead off with everyone's favorite, U.S. Bank. For whatever reason, last Q&A we had last month got a lot of U.S. Bank questions, and their cards are fairly good. I will give them that, but this one, we're focusing on the U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve. Now, this is their travel card. I'll put it on screen for you to get you reacquainted. But one of the benefits here, like most travel cards, is Priority Pass. Now, this is a little bit different from the standpoint of they don't just give you a membership, they give you passes, which isn't terrible, but at that price point, they should probably just make it a full membership. But anyways, what I did not know this actually, but it's basically passes that you get 8 total, and that number isn't changing. But previously, it was basically 4 and 4. 4 for you, then 4 for a buddy if you wanted to. Now those passes are just going to be 8 total passes, and you can use them however your heart desires. So if you have no friends, you can just go in by yourself 8 times. You can bring a friend if you're super popular, bring 2 at once. However you want to use the passes, you can, which is a nice touch. And again, I didn't even know the passes were literally split up 4 and 4 like that. So a minor change, but progress is progress, as they say. Now, in addition to that, we will check in with American Airlines for some lounge news as well. Again, minor update, but this was sent in by a friend of the channel who probably has every annual fee card known to man. Is probably passed out on a beach somewhere as he's watching this, but we appreciate you sending in stories as always. Anyways, American Airlines had a partnership with JetBlue. They called it like a Northeast Alliance. Basically, if you had Admirals Club membership, but you were flying JetBlue, you could still get into the Admirals Club, which is kind of a nice touch. Well, that unfortunately is ending, so on screen you can have you're seeing the notification they sent out to card holders, but again, it's going to still be allowed through January 31st of 2024, so you do have some time, but unfortunately, again, that is ending. They are ending their partnership. Now, again, this is another partnership that, I'll be honest, I didn't really know existed overall, so I don't know what the other benefits were, but this is a nice little touch, and again, I think it probably just goes to, all the airport lounges looking around and trying to consolidate. Especially American, because again, American, they revamped their executive card with Citi a while back, basically to say they were just giving away lounge access, and now, like others, like Delta, and they're starting to pull it back. So ending this partnership was an easy way of saying, hey, you might have the membership, but why are we going to let you in if you're not even flying on our ticket? We might as well get all the money we can, either fix a little bit of crowding or make it more advantageous to stick with American. So, I mean, it's a bummer, but overall it kind of does fit the narrative of the world that we're seeing in the airports as of late. So, of course, if you use this benefit, let us know what you think about that down below. I would be interested to know your thoughts and if it had any other perks. Now, continuing on, we have Capital One back in the news. Now, this one, I will preface it. We've had a lot of folks write in or go even on Reddit posts and comments and say they had actually talked to customer service to confirm this. We can't really sure up if this is going to be a legitimate thing or not going forward, or if it's just temporary. We've heard both. So just keep that in mind. This isn't like an official store. This is more so, hey, you should be aware of this if you have Capital One cards. So specifically, they're talking about transferring points internally from Capital One from the Saver to like the Venture or the Venture X, which really works well because the Saver is a really good companion card to both of those cards. It makes a nice duo. You'd be unforgiven because Capital One makes no mention of this and doesn't sell it like that at all, but you can do it. You can transfer the points you earn on a Saver to Venture. Well, a lot of folks were reporting that you can no longer do this on your own in the app or in the portal. And so this is where some of the conflicting reports come in. Folks phoned into Capital One, and they were told multiple things, which is not entirely uncommon, especially when it's Capital One. But we have some folks that write in and say, hey, look, the rep said it was temporary due to security, but then the rep said the rep themselves should be able to make the transfer for you, but then that rep couldn't actually do it. Or some rep said, hey, this is actually permanent, and that's all we know. So suffice it to say, we don't really know if it's permanent or not, but it is happening to people. So if you have Capital One cards, you're looking to make transfers, be aware of that. I am interested to see what they do. I don't necessarily know what kind of security concerns could have had them pull back this feature. I know Chase at one point a while back had pulled the ability to transfer points from one family member to another, which is a little bit different because you could potentially be going cross account, but this all was like internal transfers with your own card to your own card. So hopefully it is just temporary. They're working something out. I mean, if it's temporary, I don't believe they're going to say anything. It'll just be turned on one day. It's usually how it goes. And if it is permanent, I assume I would hope they'd at least say it, but I can't imagine they'd want to. Limiting it makes no sense of why you'd want to do that. Again, even though they don't really sell the cards as companion cards, they obviously function well that. So we'll keep an eye on that because I am interested to see it. If you have any experience, if you've also talked customer service, feel free to chime in down below. Again, most of this stuff came from Reddit and comments on the various outlets. Now, going back to Delta and American Express to close us out. If you missed last Sunday's show, it was basically the Delta and American Express show due to a lot of changes they were making to Sky Club access on the cards, Sky Miles status, elite statuses, and then, of course, lounges being the other big one there. So overall, we have an addition to that story. So if you take a look at the Delta American Express cards, the personal ones for right now. So you have the blue, the gold, the platinum, and the reserve. That's the purple one. They have actually changed the intro offer rules for these cards, but it is very interesting. So previously, you could get them in any order you wanted to, right? If you have the reserve intro offer, that was considered a separate product from the Delta Gold and Delta Platinum. So you could get all of them, and that made a lot of sense. There's also a way to generally play these kind of like the Hilton cards, where if you picked the gold card, for example, sometimes they will come and give you an upgrade offer in year number 2 to move up to the next level, being the platinum. Then you could go apply for the platinum really quick and then, take the intro offer like this, or the upgrade offer the same day. Well, they've changed that, but it's interesting because I haven't really seen them changed in this way before. So I'll put them on screen for you one at a time, but I'm reading from the Delta Platinum card. So it says, you may not be eligible to receive a welcome offer if you have or have had this card, the Delta Sky Miles Platinum American Express card, or the Delta Sky Miles Reserve American Express card, or previous versions of these cards. You also may not be eligible to receive a welcome offer based on various factors. So that last part is normal. So really what it looks like is they're trying to keep you from backsliding too far, I would guess, because you can go in order. You could still get the blue, the gold, the platinum, and the reserve in order and be fine and get all those intro offers. But the way this is going, again, this is for the platinum card, the one I'm reading while I'm showing you the other ones on screen. If you had the reserve, and they're saying, no, you can't backslide to the platinum and get that intro offer, which kind of reads to me like, logically, maybe someone tries the blue or the gold. The gold is probably the one I see the most around here, living near a Delta hub. So maybe someone tries the gold, and to me, they're saying, well, we'd like to encourage you to move the platinum, so we won't restrict forward progress, but we will restrict backward progress. So it just kind of adds an order of operations to them, which, again, most people aren't really going to realize, I don't think. So it's an interesting way to kind of structure your intro offer rules. Now, overall, why? Well, again, I said half of it. I think they want to keep people from backsliding. They want forward progress, not reverse progress. Of course, they'll still give you the card potentially. You just won't get the intro offer. And obviously, again, they want to stop giving out so many Delta Sky Miles because, again, if you get all of these, and they do offer high offers, they're usually around 100,000 miles at least, a time or two a year. Sometimes you can look up, like I think when I did it years ago, it was like 100,000 miles plus like a $200 statement credit, which is a really good offer. So they probably just want to cut back on their promotional budgeting, I would imagine. Now, overall, just following up on the last bit of stories, we had a lot of comments, as you can imagine. People were not happy, and I totally get it. And I always will support people voting with their dollars by saying, hey, I'm going to cancel my cards, or I'm not going to do this. Of course, referring to the Sky Miles changes, where now you just had to spend an insane amount of getting a lot of MQDs, medallion qualifying dollars. I get it, and believe me, the reason I got rid of my platinum card, my regular Amex platinum card, because I was like, I can't always hate on this card and still hold it, even though you could probably find a way to creatively write off the annual fee or something. It's like, no, I had to get rid of it and vote with my dollar. So I get it, and I applaud you, but the thing about these changes that they did, going back to the status, is that it really doesn't affect that many people is the crazy thing. Now, the lounge access on the cards, different. That does affect a lot of people. But the status, what they've really done is they've really hurt the people who were like fringe status, right? So if you were like fringe silver medallion, or maybe you could bump up the gold in a good year, those are the people who kind of have to make a decision if they're going to leave or not. Again, credit cards aside, right? Just the status, right? I was talking to a few folks in the comments, and some of you guys are like, hey, with the old spend terms, I was silver or gold. Now with the new terms, I wouldn't even be, close to silver status. Those are the people who get hurt. Because at the top end, you have like your corporate accounts. Like, this isn't a Delta story, but like, I think it came out that like Apple, they hold a bunch of seats on United flights, I think, to China. Like, just every day, they have a whole set amount of seats that they pay for. And if they use them, they use them. And if not, no big deal. That's a corporate account, right? And then you have like your consultants, business people flying every single day or every week. And then it gets less and less and less. So they're really going after that middle group right there. Of course, the top two are just billing the expense to the client. Most people are flying economy or even main cabin, stuff like that. Not really affected because they didn't devalue the miles. They really only affected the status piece. Now, again, the lounge access on the cards is a different thing. So if you want to cancel for that because they haven't, they've nerfed them, then I get it. The only thing I would say is maybe since you still have all of 2024, maybe we wait it out and see what they're going to do, especially if you've already paid the annual fee and you've got the card. You might as well continue to get your value out of it while you can for another year. But when you look at it as a whole, it does suck, but overall, I don't think they really hurt that many people. They hurt a specific group of people, and some of you are those people, and I totally get it, why you would be upset. So I would assume now that they've made this change to these cards, going back to the original point of the story, that we should be good. No sign of this on the business accounts. Maybe they still want to be friends with their corporate accounts or their business travelers, so they left it alone over there. So we haven't seen those changes yet, so that is good. So of course, as always, we'll keep our eye on this because again, I was planning on getting at least another Delta card to kind of top off my Sky Miles balance. I think I'm down to like 20,000 miles. And see, I'm still flying Delta because I was never close to status. So again, the changes, while they are aggressive, didn't really affect me that much. But again, I applaud people who vote with their dollars, take an action, and actually cancel a card. All I'm simply saying is like, let's just think it through first is all, and it might not affect you the way it seems, or it might, and then you should cancel and let the company know. But the idea that this is going to cost Delta a lot of customers is not, I don't believe it's going to cost them nearly that many customers because, again, we covered, I just don't think it affects that many people overall, and I'm sure they've done the math before it. So anyways, of course, let me know your thoughts down below. Again, following up from last week's story, having done these back-to-back weeks now, let me know what you think. Still super angry about it. Are you canceling? Are you jumping airlines? Of course, I'm definitely interested to know you guys with the Capital One cards. What's it looking like for you during those transfers as well? But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for the news. So, of course, if you liked it, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you find it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel because we're posting content just like this every single week and right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And, of course, every single day over on ProfitableContent.com. That is the channel's blog where we have the latest news stories just like this. We have bank promotion offers and we have credit card offers. So if you do cancel one card, well, we have plenty of other cards we'd love to show you over there. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching and talk to you very soon this week.